Is atheism harmless? Is the lack of belief in God just a neutral stance? Are we better off without religion? Let's find out as we dig deep into the mind of this 19th century thinker Friedrich Nietzsche. Friedrich Nietzsche profoundly influenced Western culture. Nietzsche laid the groundwork for destroying a nation's soul. Without a doubt, his ideologies in the 19th century gave birth to some of the most massive atrocities mankind has ever seen. Nietzsche was born in 1844 in a small town near Leipzig in Saxony. His father was a Lutheran pastor who died just a few months before his 5th birthday. In 1864, Nietzsche enrolled at the University of Bonn, where he studied theology and classical philosophy. Only after a year of studying at Bonn, he lost interest in preparing for the Lutheran ministry. He also lost his faith. He returned to Leipzig and studied the writings of Arthur Schopenhauer, an atheist and an advocate of philosophical pessimism. In 1866, Nietzsche studied the works of Albert Lange, who was also an atheist. In 1882, he published the book Gay Science, where he wrote the most well-known phrase in philosophy, "God is dead." He also wrote the books like Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Beyond Good and Evil, On the Genealogy of Morals, and many more. The theme of most of these books are focused on the death of God, moral relativism, Aryan racism, and the coming of the Übermensch, translated as Overman, Overhuman, or Superman. Nietzsche not only did not believe in God, but he also hated Christianity. In his eyes, following the crucified Christ meant the denial of life. Nietzsche also didn't believe in equality. Some men were superior than others. Most advanced humans, he said, should breed in such a way as to advance humanity still further, while less advanced humans should be forced into slavery. In some ways, Nietzsche proclaimed the unvarnished reality of atheism, in which there really is no morality, only a sort of law of the jungle, survival of the fittest. He called Christian morality slave morality, for it's weak and it protects the weak and preserves what is ripe for destruction. His commitment to atheism led him to dehumanize humanity. He rejected the idea that man was made in the image of God. Man was no more than a two-legged animal. In his famous quote, Nietzsche said, "You have made your way from worm to man, and much in you is still a worm. Once you were apes, and even now, man is more ape than any ape." Sadly and unbelievably, many people read Nietzsche and found in these words of hatred and extreme bigotry inspiration and dreams of a new world. To put it bluntly, Nietzsche's philosophy licensed the atrocities of Adolf Hitler, Joseph Stalin, and Benito Mussolini. Nietzsche's dark vision was realized 33 years after his death, when Adolf Hitler gained power over Germany and the march toward World War II began. Let's look into Hitler's famous work, Mein Kampf, and see how he applied his Nietzschean ideologies into practice. Mein Kampf testifies to the moral bankruptcy of a man who has replaced God with a Nietzschean cult of racism and the law of the jungle. Once God is pushed out of the picture, moral absolutes are very much in doubt. Eugenics, mass murder, slavery, tyranny are not necessarily wrong. Perhaps they're necessary. Perhaps they can be justified. Racial purity of the Aryans was the most overriding concern in his dreadful book. He railed against Jews, saying they were inferior but clever race, bent on world domination. He also railed against black people. He stated in his book that Jews brought the black people into Rhineland. For a pure-blooded Aryan whose home is the Rhineland, nothing could be more disgusting. He claimed that interracial marriage caused the most gifted beings to degenerate. If the Aryan race was to be saved, Europe had to be purged of these lower forms of human organisms. The worst part is that this book was taken seriously and put into effect. The result was the Holocaust. Although various groups and individuals fell victim into this travesty, none suffered more than the Jewish people. So you've reached the end of this video, and today's book recommendation comes from Jeremiah Johnston. This one is called Unimaginable. As depicted in this video, the notion that God doesn't exist and that humanity is the focal point might initially sound appealing. However, this notion becomes problematic when you realize that the source of all evil in this world is the human heart. Once God's moral absolutes fade away, moral relativism comes to the forefront. Without a guiding God, there is no standard to adhere to, and everyone determines what is right in their own eyes. Your personal sentiments towards Christianity may be unfavorable, yet its undeniable significance in society is noteworthy. A world without Christianity is truly beyond imagination. Once again, this is Michael. Thank you guys. I'll see you in the next video. God bless you.